Hi guys, welcome to the workshop. First thing I need to do is start with the impeller. A 9-inch impeller, and I'm going to do 6 blades. Because I'm using 6 blades, I'm dividing each section into 60 degrees, and that's where the blades will be positioned. And what I've done here is my center is 38 millimeter radius, and what I've done also from the angles here, I've got 40 millimeters as well. So what I then do is place my compass over like that, start there, and then go towards the outside on every one. So let's see how this goes here. I hope you guys can see this. So what I can do now is clean this piece up, cut the blades, and then I can weld it all on. I finished cutting all the blades. They're all 60 by 90 millimeters. I've got 6 of them, and I'm just going to bend them and then weld them into place. But I need to get rid of the zinc coating. It's making a mess and making it very difficult to weld. It's actually very toxic as well when it turns into a gas. So I'm going to grind that off, then I'm going to bend them, and then I'm going to weld them onto the plate and the positions, and then I'll clean this up as well. Okay guys, finished the impeller. I'm actually quite happy with it. I'm only using 1.6 millimeter steel in it, and it's been warping quite a bit while I'm welding it. But it's actually seems to have come right by itself. My welding needs a bit of work, but anyway, I think I've got a very nice working impeller, and I think with, once I've finished, I set it up, I can actually balance it nicely, and it will actually work quite nicely. Anyway, let's see. So what I'm going to do now is start the whole impeller housing. Okay, so I've got this old piece of 3mm steel, and this will be the whole mounting thing for the 500 watt 2800 RPM motor. Of course my impeller will go in the center of this mark. Right, and of course this is a drawing that I've got, and I'll base it off there, and my pipe will be running upwards like that, and I'm only using 65mm 2.5 inch pipe for this. So what I need to do with this steel, this is 70mm by the way, my chambers, that's the maximum width of me because I'm only using a 500 watt 2-pole motor on this. And then what I need to do is just to weld this piece on here all the way right around. Now what I've done here also is I've started at the narrowest point is actually 20mm over here, then I've gone over 5mm for every single thing over size. It's 30, 35, 40 right till I get to my size of 65mm, which will be my exit pipe. So I'm going to weld this on, and then I'll start shaping it all the way right around my chamber. Okay, I've just tacked this all in place, and then what I've also done is I've cut out the 3mm steel for my backing, and of course the motor will go through the shaft there and be mounted like this. So what I need to do now is I need to just make a top cover for this. So I'm just going to put this over the steel on the base and then just trace out the cover. There we go. Now I'm going to actually weld it tack this onto a thing. Okay, finished all the welding. It doesn't look very pretty, but it's very strong. A bit of a welding marathon, but anyway, now what I've done now with this is find a circle where I'm going to cut out the ring that the impeller can go inside. Remember, I slabbed my old marks from the previous markings, and basically what I've gone up and over to find my center, and then I've made it a little bit bigger than the actual impeller itself, so I've got a little space to get the impeller in and screw it into the shaft of the motor. I've already cut out this disc from the center, which is enough space for the impeller to go in and out, and then I've also got a new disc which I've cut right down to the edge, so basically the maximum size to here, but one thing I need to do is to find the center of it. I did drill a hole in the center here, so I know exactly where the center is. Okay, now just line up with my other marks, and then I know that this is absolutely centered. Now what I can do is I'm going to tack this in place, and then I'm going to drill all the holes for the mounting screws for this back plate, and I'm also going to drill a 65mm 2.5 inch hole in the center for the pipe. Okay guys, my plate is actually ready, and I've drilled 5mm holes in all the way around. These need to go up to 6mm for 6mm screws, and I'm going to tap these at 6mm with the tape. I've drilled a 12-meter hole, and I've mounted the motor in already. I just need to drill the holes for the motor mounts and that. I should have actually done it before I did the cover, but it should be fine. I should be able to get all the screws, shouldn't be a problem. Okay guys, this is all ready now, so what I can do is I can actually start the base for the dust collection bags. Got my ring for the dust bags ready. Now of course what I need to do now, I need to mount it up high enough. I'm going to knock these 3 poles, they'll be welded to the base, my trolley, and then I'm going to actually weld it on here. What I'll need to do here is actually weld 2 bolts on here. And that'll give me the space that I need. And I can also put a nut or a washer on here just to give me the space to slide the bags underneath. And then I'm also going to do an 8mm ring over this, around the top and the bottom and top, so that it keeps the bags aligned. And then I'll do a strap to tighten the bags onto the holder here. Guys, I'm starting this in the inside. That's what I'm going to call them anyway. And what I need to do is cut it out. I'm cutting out a ring that's larger than the thing because of course these things in the inside have a slight slant to them. So, and then I'm going to cut a line over there, through from that side, from the center outwards. And then I'm going to bow them in a bit and then we can see if we can get the right diameter. The vortex cone. So I just need to flatten out, clean it, and then I will weld it back into place. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger than I originally thought. So anyway, let's see what it looks like when it comes out. Vortex cone ready for painting. It's going to drill also a 8mm hole in the top. Okay, dust collector all done. Ready to clean it up, grind on all the bad bits and then paint it. Last thing I have to do is I have to transition from this box to this pipe shape. Now, this is 65mm diameter, so what I'm going to do with it, the circumference of this is 201mm. So I'm going to divide each one of these into 50mm, then bend them around and then weld it onto that. And then I'm going to just draw a line that goes at a slight angle, and then I can just maybe knock this still in a little bit so I get it starts to get a nice round shape inside. So. I've cut to 19mm 3/4 inch straps, and they're going to be to tie down the bags on the top and the bottom. And one thing I've also got, I've got a spring here. So what I'm going to do with this piece of steel that I bent around, it's just an old nail. I'm going to weld that to there, and then I can fix the spring against it like that, then stretch it over to there, and then I'll just put a little hook over there. I'll weld that on there, that it can hold the bags nice and tight. I'll actually cut these a bit shorter if they're not tight enough, so I can always adjust it later on, no problem at all. This is just a bracket I made to hold up the filter cloth. Okay guys, all finished. I need to just grind up a few things to fix my really bad welding, and then I also need to just get the impeller straight a bit, just panel beat it a bit to get it nice and straight that it runs well. So anyway, yeah, let me get to painting. Okay, the motor is mounted. Now it's time for the impeller. I've done a nut in here which I've grinded right down to me the right diameter, and it's nice because it acts as a spacer. It also helps to lock this blade in. Remember, this thing will turn anti-clockwise, stand at right hand thread, so it'll automatically tighten itself up all the time. It won't unscrew itself. Time for the vortex cone, panel washer, and then underneath, then I'll just bolt it from the top. There we go, all done. Well, just a few things that I would change when I did actually make the thing is one thing I would I would have made the impeller out of 3mm steel or thicker. You know, for the two housings, I think the 1.6mm steel is okay, but it still warps a lot when you weld it. So that is a problem. But I'll definitely make the impeller out of a slightly stronger steel. This 3mm I use for the backing plate is very nice, and it doesn't warp when I weld it. And then, yeah, but it works very well. I'm very happy with how it came out. So yeah, guys, a lot more videos on the go. So don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching.